you been wondering about the daily work routine of the president?
Shower, pray, maybe take some minutes to read the Quran, and then check his to-do list and work on them. Reservoir visitors or investors and talk to his cabinet members. I think that is what he does.
For someone who starts his day as early as 7:45 in the morning, is probably the busiest man in the country. In order to bring the presidency closer to the people, the Office of the President, in collaboration with GRTS, presents The President's Diary, a monthly TV program that highlights the President's official engagements in pursuit of the National Development Plan.
Hello viewers, and welcome to another exciting episode of The President's Diary. My name is Mfalli Fadera. Coming up in this edition, the Gambia celebrates its 54th independence anniversary with myriads of activities as part of the commemoration. We'll also bring you highlights of the visit of the President of Sierra Leone and the First Lady, which is also part of activities marking the independence anniversary. Part of the independence anniversary celebrations, the President also inaugurated a landmark project in Banjul that will see the rehabilitation of the sewage, road and drainage systems in the capital city. We'll also take you as far as Jara, where the President presided over the inauguration and the commissioning of a mega electricity project which will produce 24 megawatts, supplying communities in Lower River region and West Coast region. For these and many more, please stay tuned. My name is Mfalli Fadera. 18 February 1965 was the day when the Gambia, then a British colony, attained independence from Great Britain. Since then, the country celebrates 18 February each year as the day she gained independence and freedom as a sovereign state. The Gambia Clocks 54 this year, President Adama Barrow graced the occasion at the Makati Square in Banjul, where an event that was well attended by officials, dignitaries, representatives of foreign missions in the Gambia, as well as a cross-section of the Gambian society. It was a colorful event that saw a spectacular parade by the gallant men and women of the Gambia Armed Forces. It also witnessed a moment when selected gallant men in uniform were honored and decorated for unreservedly sacrificing their life for the Gambia when the need arises the most. President Barrow arrived to a cheering crowd, entered the parade before the march past of school children and voluntary organizations. In his address to the students, President Barrow called on Gambians to reflect on what the country has achieved since independence, adding that it's an opportunity to hold government accountable to the people. Freedom, he said, carries multiple meaning and significance for us as a nation. Let's now join Zainab Fall for a glimpse of the mood at the independence parade shortly before the arrival of the president.
Okay, viewers, welcome to the President's Diary. As you can see, we are live at the Makati Square in Banjul to celebrate Gambia's 54th independence. And what we are looking at today, as the Gambia marks 54 years since, gaining independence from Great Britain, is political independence. How far have we come as a country to gain our freedom and liberty that our sovereign country deserves? What we are also looking at is patriotism. What can we do as a country to show love to the Gambia, to do anything that will ensure that the Gambia moves from one step to the other? Shortly, we will hear an address from His Excellency President Adama Barrow to the students.
Independence carries multiple meanings and significance to us as a nation. It is not simply about self-rule and freedom from foreign domination, but most importantly, it is about freedom of thought and action, leading to our growth and progress as individuals, families, communities, organizations, and as a nation.
And his speech will also border on leadership. What kind of leadership do we need in this country? And patriotism, of course. What does it mean to have love for the Gambia? So these are the things that the President, Adama Barrow, will share with the students.
We have now come to realize and appreciate that true independence means freedom to set up and work through a strong and functional institutions run by competent, sincere, and efficient personnel. Gambians have come to appreciate further that nationhood or sovereignty should be merged by economic independence and the capacity to generate resources and funds for investment and judicious spending. We have learned also that independence rests on working with responsible leadership that allows for diversity, choice, and acting on correct decisions. The underlying objective is for all citizens to engage in nation building as a united force.
President Barrow highlighted the significance of collective participation in nation building while enjoining citizens to demonstrate patriotism through constructive action and service at all times. In honor of the sacrifices and distinguished statesmanship of our founding fathers, His Excellency President Barrow visited Sadara Kairaba Jawara, the first president of the country, at his home in Fajara immediately after the national parade of the 54th independence anniversary at the Makati Square in Banjul. As part of activities marking the independence anniversary celebration, His Excellency President Barrow received a special guest in the passing of the President of Sierra Leone, His Excellency President Madabio, and the First Lady. A state banquet where both leaders toasted to a fruitful bilateral relationship and peace in their respective countries was organized in honor of the visiting Sierra Leonean dignitaries. President Bio also held talks with President Barrow, which was followed by a joint press conference where both leaders delved deep into issues of national and global interest for both countries. Here is an excerpt of the press conference.
Our two countries have had a very long relationship spanning over 300 years. And the relationship has been healthy. We want to take it to higher heights. We want to deepen this relationship. We want to widen this relationship for the benefit of our two countries. Of course, we share a lot in common today in terms of politics, in terms of the economy, in terms of the challenges we face as leaders. So we are trying to, we have compared notes, and we have identified areas where we can work together, share contacts, and share our experiences.
I think my friend have said it all. It's all about our relationship, especially at the bilateral level. I think it is very, very important. Gambia, our policy is we want to open up to the world, and this is part of what we are doing. And also we seize the opportunity also to thank Sierra Leone, because during the impasse, Sierra Leone, they took a leading role in solving the problem in the Gambia. I think we needed to commend them for that and thank them also. And also we discussed about the leadership. In Africa, if you look at the leadership, we have a young leadership. And that young leadership, they have a big responsibility in moving this continent forward. I think these are basically the areas that we discussed. The areas we have discussed, education, of course. A lot of Gambians have passed through Sierra Leone as far as education is concerned. And there are other areas also, trade and investment. These are areas we want to cooperate in moving this relationship forward. Because we know very well Sierra Leone have a lot of resources. I think if we are in partnership, that will help us in this relationship, and both countries can benefit from that relationship. These are the areas we discuss.
In addition, Gambia does very well in tourism. There's a lot to learn from Gambia, and I think in West Africa, Gambia is one of the favorite destinations for tourism, for tourists. So we are also trying to learn from the Gambia what has been put in place in terms of infrastructure to attract tourists here. Of course, education has always been a force, a binding force between our two countries. And we are happy that a lot of progress has been made on this side. We don't have a lot of Gambians going on that side again for education. But most of us have colleagues here we went to school with who are Gambians. And we want to see what sort of, how we can strengthen that relationship also at the educational level. Fisheries, governance, and a lot of other issues
I think so. Africa, we should be very, very hopeful because the dynamics are changing. Because we are confronted with a lot of challenges. And these challenges, coup d'etats and wars. Now the dynamics are changing. Africa is now following the trend of democracy, rule of law. This is the trend we are now following. So I think that is an indication that Africa is now serious. I think Africa is speaking with one voice. The message is the same from Africa. We are all united as far as that message is concerned. Reforms of the Security Council. That is a message that is clear, and it was even part of my speech when I was at the United Nations. Reforms of the Security Council, that's what we are calling for. We are calling for equality. We want Africa to be recognized. We want Africa to be given position as far as the Security Council is concerned. For accountability, for transparency, you understand, for fairness. I think this is the message from Africa. And everybody is on board. That makes us strong, because we feel that if we are together, we are strong. The message is the same, everybody is speaking the same language. I think we have discussed these things, that Gambia should learn from Sierra Leone. After a bitter war, they were able to reconcile and move on. I think we have a lot to learn. We passed through a dictatorship of 22 years. Our democracy have just started, and Sierra Leone, they are building on their democracy. Governments have changed hands now about 2 to 3 times. So that means Sierra Leone is accepting democracy. I think this is the only way we can move this continent forward. And Gambia, we should learn from those people that have moved on. Countries like South Africa, Sierra Leone, countries like Rwanda, they have moved on. And I see no reason why Gambia, we cannot move on. But our main focus is to build our institution, as I said. The Truth and Reconciliation is on. Constitutional Review Commission is on. These are reform process to change the mindset. Because the mindset is a big problem. The system was polluted. And in changing that, you have to change the mindset. Well, today we have a guide, that is our National Development Plan. Everybody, even the primary school student, knows about the National Development Plan. That is the guide for the government. That guide is up to 2021. I think all of this is inclusive in that National Development Plan. So these are the things that we are focused on, but we are still more than willing to learn from other countries. They said if you learn and listen, you can always progress. So we cannot thank Mother Bio enough for coming to the Gambia. He is a brother and he is a friend. We have a lot to learn from Sierra Leone. That's why today we are here together to share experiences and learn from each other and collaborate also and move our continent forward. But we are very hopeful because Africa now, the direction is the same. Everybody is thinking about good governance, everybody is thinking about democracy. This is the only way we can move this continent forward.
In his capacity as the Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, His Excellency President Adama Barrow presided over the 11th convocation ceremony of the university at Q City in Bijilo. The country's highest institute of learning is graduating more than 600 homegrown graduates in various disciplines of education.
I am most delighted to be in your midst today to share in the joyous occasion of the 11th convocation ceremony of the University of the Gambia. At the heart of today's event are the graduates from different schools and faculties of the University of the Gambia, whose achievements we are here to acknowledge and celebrate. From the outset, let me congratulate every one of you on your great achievement. Indeed, you are the pride of this nation, the anchor on which we rest our hopes for a better future. The overall goal of acquiring a degree, I believe, is to help transform society using the knowledge and skills acquired from university education. Therefore, the burning question in the hearts and minds of all graduates today should be, what constructive change will I bring to this nation and the world at large now that I have earned this new qualification? You are no doubt the potential experts, future leaders, next generations of solution providers in various aspects of national life. I therefore challenge you individually and collectively to do everything possible to contribute your quota in building a strong nation that can stand high and be proud among the community of nations. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this year's convocation, citizens' participation in nation building in the New Gambia, simply means a constructive process of engaging all citizens in building social cohesion, economic prosperity, and political stability in an inclusive and democratic way. Government and its structures and all citizens have a stake in and a duty to actively and effectively participate and improve the process of nation building. In all words, all hands must be on deck to bring about the desired changes. There is a good link between education and the theme for this convocation, as education plays a critical role in determining the growth and development of any nation. There is a good saying that an educated and enlightened citizenry is a critical asset in the growth and development process of any nation. My administration is conscious of this fact and therefore relentless in its efforts to ensure that the standard of education at all levels is continually improved. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate this moment, we must remind ourselves our collective responsibilities. We must defend our hard-earned democracy. As citizens, we must have that strong spirit of nationalism and citizenship, love and defend our country, and sacrifice personal interests for the common good at all times. In short, it is the responsibility of every Gambian in the New Gambia to respect, support, and defend the Constitution and its ideals, promote, participate in and defend democratic processes.
Coming up, His Excellency President Adama Barrow has reiterated his government's commitment to transforming the capital city of Banjul into a modern metropolis that every Gambian could be proud of. President Barrow made the pledge at the grand launching of the much-anticipated project at the KG5 Mini Stadium in Banjul, where he announced that the city will be glamorized with state-of-the-art infrastructure to make it more habitable for its residents. Decrying the fact that the city had been neglected for far too long, which led to structural dilapidation of the road networks and incessant flooding and leakage of sanitary waste, President Barrow said the former regime that lasted for more than 2 decades could have done better for the people of Banjul. He assured that his administration will break away from the past, saying that his government attaches great urgency to entirely overhauling and restoring the city's lost glory. He called on businessmen and commercial entities in Banjul to live up to their social corporate responsibility of supporting the municipality in delivering the people of Banjul out of underdevelopment. The Minister of Works and Infrastructure stated that the scope of the Banjul Rehabilitation Project, which includes the construction of 37 kilometers of roads and the rehabilitation of the entire drainage and sewage system, is expected to be completed in 5 years. Honorable Bailamin Job, who was ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Communications, Ibrahim Silla, added that the estimated cost of the project is $35.6 million, and Guy Enterprise will pre-finance the first phase. On her part, the Lord Mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malick Lowe, urged her fellow Banjulians to take pride in the project and stand toe-to-toe with the government in ensuring that it succeeds. She said the project belongs to the people of Banjul and all of them should take pride in it.
This occasion demonstrates vividly my government's commitment to providing the city of Banjul with the best possible infrastructure to make the settlement more inhabitable. In part, it is a commitment in fulfillment of goals 9 and 11 of the Sustainable Development Goals. We are aware of the importance of durable infrastructure for the socio-economic development of the country. Thus, given the urgency of the project, government has committed $35.6 million for its implementation, noting that when completed, it will improve the welfare of residents in Banjul and beyond. Economically, the project will encourage more investment, infrastructure development, thereby creating more employment for Gambians and improving their incomes. I am certain that both parties will ensure that the project is implemented on time and in accordance with the specified standards. It is now my pleasure to formally launch the Banjul Sewage, Drainage, Roads Rehabilitation Project.
I pledge my commitment not to interfere with the judiciary. These were the words of President Adama Barrow as he presided over the opening of the 2019 legal year in Banjul. Delivering a strong message of assurance at the event, President Barrow has reaffirmed his government's commitment to continue ensuring a judiciary free from executive overreach.
After assuming office, my government undertook a number of measures to stabilize the economy, restore public confidence, and strengthen democratic institutions. Accordingly, the 4 strategic priorities of the National Development Plan 2018-2021 is restoring good governance, respect for human rights, the rule of law, and empowering the citizens through decentralization and local governance. In this light, we have taken a number of strides in fulfillment of these development aspirations. After many years of judicial maladministration, we sought to sanitize the judicial administration and ensure judicial independence in the country with the appointment of our distinguished current Chief Justice. I have said it many times. I think this government, we have been very, very brave to appoint a human rights lawyer as Minister of Justice and a human rights lawyer as the Chief Justice of the Gambia. This was followed by the reconstitution of the Supreme Court after a 3-year break. In 2017, we Gambianized the judiciary with the appointment or reinstatement of 12 Superior Court judges. As opposed to the intolerable practice of sacking judicial officers without any just cause. As witnessed in the past, no judicial officer has been arbitrarily dismissed from office since I assumed office. On this auspicious occasion, I once again pledge my firm commitment not to interfere in the judicial administration of the country.
The President said his administration has broken free from the intolerable practice of sacking judicial officers without any just cause, as witnessed in the past, stressing that no judicial officer has been arbitrarily dismissed from office since he assumed the seat of power in the country. He also pointed out the appointments of human rights lawyers as Chief Justice and Minister of Justice respectively, as well as the swift reconstitution of the Supreme Court after a 3-year break as testaments of respect for the third arm of the government. The Chief Justice and the Minister of Justice joined the President in paying glowing tribute to the high level of judicial independence under the current government. In early February, His Excellency President Adama Barrow presided over the swearing-in of members of the first ever National Human Rights Commission of the Gambia at the State House in Banjul. The 5-man commission, led by Chairperson Emmanuel Juve, a seasoned human rights lawyer, on Thursday morning swore to the oaths of office, allegiance and secrecy in front of a cross-section of high-level government officials, family members and well-wishers. In his congratulatory remarks, the President described the ceremony as a historic milestone in the fulfillment of the human rights obligation of his government. He pledged that his government will ensure the independence and autonomy of the Commission in executing its mandate. He also promised that his government will render all the necessary support, be it moral or financial, to the Commission in the realization of its objective. President Barrow also highlighted that all categories of citizens will look up to the Commission for the protection of their individual and collective rights, imploring on the commissioners to deal with all complaints fairly and objectively, regardless of identity, ethnic or political background of complainants.
Housing the African Commission on Human and People's Rights headquarters for over 30 years has tasked the Gambia to serve as a role model in the promotion and protection of human rights in Africa. Your appointment as commissioners is a historic milestone in the fulfillment of our human rights obligations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commission is not a substitute for the court system, but its effectiveness is expected to have far-reaching consequences on the lives of the ordinary Gambians by creating an avenue to provide redress for issues affecting their rights. The role of the Commission to promote and protect human rights means that you stand in a very privileged position, as all categories of citizens will look up to you for the protection of their individual and collective rights and interests. I also pledge the moral support of my government to safeguard the independence and autonomy of the Commission for the execution of its mandate. I am confident that you will live up to expectations in reshaping the human rights landscape of the Gambia from now on.
According to the Minister of Justice, Honorable Abubakar Tambidu, the swearing-in reaffirmed the fidelity of the government to the values and principles of good governance and democracy. He explained that the ceremony epitomizes that the Gambia is reclaiming its rightful place in Africa as one of the leading bastions of democracy and rule of law. Speaking on behalf of the commissioners, Chairperson Emmanuel Juve said, although it is the state's responsibility to protect human rights, he will urge all citizens to remain steadfast in upholding the rule of the law and human rights at all times. Viewers, you still reminded that this is the President's Diary and my name is Mfali Fadela. Still coming up, the Cabinet has resolved to restructure, reposition and subsequently divest the shares of Gamcel to ensure independent management free from external influence. This was contained in a Cabinet resolution that was made known to the public by the Minister of Information and Communication, Ibrahim Asila, shortly after the Cabinet session. Let's take a listen.
In its second special meeting in 2019, Cabinet deliberated on a joint paper presented by the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs and the Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure on the outcome of an option study for restructuring government supply-side participation in the country's telecom markets. After a thorough deliberation on the options in the study, Cabinet agreed on the following actions as recommended by the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure and the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs. First, Cabinet's position on the recommendations on Gamcel. Cabinet has agreed with the recommendations that Gamcel be repositioned and restructured first, then divest its shares. The restructuring will ensure that Gamcel operates under an independent management free from Gamtel's control and influence. Cabinet's position on the recommendations of Gamtel. Cabinet endorsed the recommendation that Gamtel be restructured and repositioned to make it more effective and efficient. Cabinet further agreed that the liberalization of the international gateway be expedited with the full-blown monitoring system, which will be managed by the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA.
The viewers of the President's Diary, we are coming to you live from Jara Soma, where the President is launching a 24 megawatts electricity project, a project that will benefit Gambians, but particularly a project that will contribute immensely towards the rural electrification efforts of the government. As you can hear from the background, at the moment we have Jaliba Kuyate playing, and we have thousands of people from across the country and from across the Lower River region and beyond coming to join President Barrow in launching a mega project, a project that will have significant ripple effects across the economy of not only the country but the sub-region. Just to remind viewers, the project is part of the OMVG hydroelectrification project, which is a transnational project by countries in West Africa. Some people see it as one of the starting points for regional integration in the West African sub-region. So in any minute, the President will take the podium to address people about how much this project will contribute to the electrification efforts and drives of his government. Already, electricity is being stabilized regularly in the country, and this electro substation will definitely complement that effort.
We are gathered here today to witness another giant step towards transforming the socio-economic circumstances of our nation through the launching ceremony of the Soma substation under the ONVG Energy Projects Interconnection Component. Ladies and gentlemen, the striking electricity demand and supply disparity in the Gambia is enough to highlight the significance of this project. The disparity also reflects the justification for the strong emphasis in the National Development Plan 2018-2021 on attracting investments, improving access to electricity, and enhancing household energy security for national development. To address the national energy supply deficit, the Soma substation, when completed, is expected to increase the current 40% access to electricity by 20%, while increasing our generation capacity from 102 to 250 megawatts. It will also reduce the electricity losses within the country. To guarantee increased energy production without serious environmental consequences, government is encouraging a major shift towards use of renewable energy from 2% to 40%. As a short-term measure, for example, our national energy capacity has been expanded through maintenance and rehabilitation of existing engines, which has been augmented by procurement of new machines. The current energy purchase agreement for rural Gambia complement these efforts. As an essential link in the economic and social development chain, electricity is a major catalyst or driving force for national development. Mindful of this, the ONVG has re-energized its activities to enhance and support the development of appropriate energy infrastructure in member countries. In February 2017, the outgoing chairperson, Professor Alpha Conde, on behalf of the head of state of the ONVG, launched a major interconnection project covering a transmission line of 1,677 kilometers and 15 substations at Caleta in Guinea. Today, I am pleased to launch here in the Gambia the construction works of the Soma substation, which is at the heart of interconnection project in the country. The substation is designed to link the eastern and northern parts of the Gambia through the NAWEC interconnection networks. I am convinced that the implementation of the project will motivate our distinguished partners further to engage in other sub-regional development projects aimed at fostering African integration. I encourage them to increase their technical and financial support to the ONVG projects and programs. The construction works that will start today is a crucial part of the ONVG and the West African Power Pool's regional interconnection networks.
The parade formed up 54 officers, 554 other ranks, 54 band personnel in open order, ready for your inspection, Your Excellency. Will retire about 10. Red, change direction right at all. Right, form. By the right, quick march.
On the dais. Please be seated.
Well, viewers, that's all we have for you for tonight's edition of the President's Diary. Do join us next for another exciting episode of the same program. My name is Mfali Fadera. Thank you.